Well, here we go. What's going on, everybody? Hope your Friday has been great. Hope your week has been incredible. Figured it's been 3 weeks since we did one of these, so let's get back on it. Let's do it. I mean, the last one was so much fun, so let's do this thing again. So appreciate you guys hanging out for this one. If for some reason you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button down there. Also, you might have seen on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter that I'm giving away a big gold belt from FanDo Belts. So you can go to chrisvanvliet.com, enter your name, enter your email address, and you will be entered to win a big gold belt from FanDo Belts. So bring the questions in right now. Let's hang out till SmackDown, right? Let's hang out till SmackDown. So keep these questions coming in. I'll obviously get to the super chats first. So thank you to everyone who's putting those super chats in. You guys are the real MVP for the super chats. Appreciate you guys for that. And we'll get this thing going here. And what a way to start the weekend, right? All hanging out together. Hey, drop a comment and let me know where you are right now. Love to hear where you guys are. What part of the world are you in? I am in Los Angeles, California. Well, I guess technically I live in a city called Studio City, California. If you've ever been to Universal Studios in California, I live like 2 minutes from there. I can like see it. There's like a little minion that like hangs out over a building. We got some super chats coming in already, so thank you. Rita M. Hamilton. Wow, what a way to start this. You are such a handsome man. Have you ever or would you ever do modeling? Thank you, Rita, for the very kind words. I've, I guess, done some like, amateur modeling. Not that kind of, no, not that kind of thing. But like I've done some photo shoots. I've been in a few commercials. I've been in some movies. I guess that kind of counts. But I love talking to people. I love having interesting conversations with interesting people. So that's my main thing. But if you are interested at some point this weekend in checking out Criminal Activities with John Travolta, you'll recognize someone in that. The Bronze with Sebastian Stan, aka the Winter Soldier, you'll recognize someone in The Bronze. And Love Finds You in Sugar Creek, you will also recognize someone in that movie. Greg Vogel coming at us with a super chat here. Thank you for that. Much respect to you, Chris. Love the content. What's a typical day look like for you? And what do you enjoy the most about your work? Well, thanks, Greg. What does a typical day look like? I think the thing that excites me the most is no 2 days are the same with what I'm doing right now. And as you guys know, my main focus is the YouTube channel, also the podcast. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, it'd be so awesome. I'd be so grateful if you could subscribe. It's called The Chris Van Vliet Show, wherever you listen to podcasts. But the day before, like the night before, right before I go to bed, I make a get-to-do list. These are the things I get to do the next day. Instead, a lot of people look at a to-do list as like, oh, these are the things I have to do tomorrow. I write out the get-to-do list of all the things that I want to accomplish that day. It starts with the gym every weekday at least. Then I eat some sort of food from there, and then we get to work. And sometimes work takes us till, I don't know, I mean, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock now. We'll probably be working till, I don't know, another 4 or 5 hours. I think that's what I love the best about it. To answer your second question there, what do I enjoy the most about it? I enjoy the fact that it's never the same 2 days in a row. Literally every single day is completely different. So thank you for that, Greg. Man, we've got so many here. And thank you guys for letting me know where you're coming from here. Jeez, you guys are all over the world here. Oakland, Ontario, Australia, Chicago, NYC, St. Louis, Glasgow. Wow, you're in Scotland? It's very late in Scotland. Cleveland. Love Cleveland. Thanks for joining us, Jen. UK, Italy. This is crazy. Ian, who thank you, by the way, for being a member of the YouTube channel. And you can click the link below to join and become a member. Ian's one of our very first members. So thank you for this. You're the man, Chris. No actual question. Just stay awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for being awesome and staying awesome. And if you're a member of the channel, you'll get early access to interviews. I post my interviews, I'd say about 24 hours before, to members only. And also exclusive content. I post stuff on there that I don't post anywhere else. So click the join button below and you can join the Chris Van Fleet. In the last live, I was calling it the Van Vliet Fleet. You guys didn't seem to like that so much. So it's the Chris Van Fleet is what we're calling this. Yeah. Maddie 5521 says, can you do your best Shane O'Mac best in the world impression? I don't know. I might need some water for this. I mean, that's a Greg Hamilton impression, right? How much time we got here? Best in the world. That's good enough, right? Shane McMahon. Greg Hamilton did that for me in person. I was like, man, this is why you're the best. That's why Greg Hamilton is doing this for a living. Spanish God-ish. I think we might get a few questions about this. What do you think of the recent Zelena Vega situation? Also, thank you for having an amazing podcast and for the awesome autograph that you gave me. This Zelena Vega thing just happened less than an hour ago, so we don't really know the full situation here. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I certainly talked to Andrew Yang about this, but I think that if you're going to be an independent contractor for any company, you should be treated as such. And if you are truly independent, you should be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you're going to be under a contract and treated like an employee, then you should have the benefits of being an employee. And, Andrew Yang and I spoke at great length about that. And I know that Zelena tweeted out that she supports unionization. Who knows? Andrew Yang said that if Joe Biden becomes the president, that he might have something to say about it. So let's see what actually happens in January when Joe Biden becomes the president. Stephen Curtis, greetings from North Carolina. I always enjoy your videos. Well, thank you, Stephen. Hope you're having a great weekend in North Carolina. Many more videos on the way, by the way. Hybrid Championship Wrestling. I am Niagara Falls, Canada. I'm guessing you're in Niagara Falls, Canada. My favorite TV show of all time? Probably Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, Entourage. Yeah, Breaking Bad for sure. Entourage, close second. Thank you for that. Niagara Falls. I was just there right before the pandemic. Love Niagara Falls. So beautiful. McSammy Focus? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the sticker. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. Man, there are a lot of questions. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. I'll obviously get to the super chats first because they pop up on the screen here. They stand out. So, man, let's try to get through as many as possible before we get to SmackDown. How's that sound? Chance Arnell, $20 super chat. Man, you're the real MVP now. Big fan. What are your thoughts on the Zelena Vega being released? And do you think Aleister Black will get punished for Zelena not stop streaming or possibly getting released, knowing how Vince can be sometimes? It's going to be interesting. I mean, we've seen a lot of these situations. Like I think the Miro situation's interesting where Miro did his thing and then Lana maybe took a little bit of the brunt of that, on TV. So I don't know. This Zelena thing is so brand new. It's so fresh. This literally just happened. It's a Friday evening. I think we'll see how this shakes out over the weekend, and maybe we'll have a bit more of a feeling for what's really happening on Monday. And if possible, obviously I want to have her on the show. It'd be so great to talk to her and just hear about her experiences and also hear about how she became the person that we'll see. If she has like a 90-day non-compete, maybe we won't be able to do that, but we'll see what happens then. All right, we'll see what we can. When will you interview Adam Cole, AJ Styles, and Sasha Banks? Sam, well, I've interviewed Sasha Banks before. Adam Cole, I don't know. Maybe I was actually talking to him recently, so I think that Adam Cole Baby might be a possibility. AJ Styles, he's one of the GOATs. I would love to have AJ Styles on the show. Does AJ Styles want to be on the show, though? I think that's the bigger thing. But hopefully soon. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Oh, I love this. Thank you, Ian. You just woke up my dog with your best in the world. Sorry to your dog. Good thing Greg Hamilton wasn't doing it. He's much louder than I am. JRG. Thank you for this. My man, big fan. Hey, I'm a big fan of you now. What's your favorite William Regal match? And if he were to have one more match, who would you want him to face on the active roster? Oh my goodness. Those are two very tough questions. I should have thought about this before clicking on it. I don't know. I feel like William Regal has a great match with literally everybody he's in the ring with. He's one of those people that's just so technically sound in everything he does. And I actually remember watching him when I was going to wrestling school. And we're talking, 17 years ago when I was in wrestling school. His bumps that he takes are so perfect. His flatbacks are so perfect. A match with him on the active roster, I'm going to go with AJ Styles because both of those guys, whoever they step foot in the ring with, it's an incredible match. So AJ versus William Regal, man, I think that'd be real good. By the way, I said this at the top, but if you're just joining us now, I'm giving away that big gold belt from FanDuel Belts. So just go to chrisfanvliet.com. You can put your name and your email address, and you'll be entered to win. It's as simple as that. Maddie, you're the one in Scotland. It's only midnight, and you're playing COD. Well, you might be up all night then. You might be up all night playing Call of Duty. Thanks for stopping by. Juan Luis Villalona. Greetings from Dominican Republic. Just subscribe to your channel. Great content. Do you speak any other languages? What's your favorite wrestling move? Well, thank you. And 250 Dominican dollars sounds like a lot of money. So thank you for your super chat. I speak high school French. I don't know if that counts. So je parle un petit peu. That means I just speak a little bit, but I could order French fries or pizza, like when I go to Quebec or France. Sorry, my favorite wrestling move. Man, these are so tough. That's a tough question. So when I was a backyard wrestler, just crazy to say I was a backyard wrestler, the Swanton Bomb was my finishing move. And I remember seeing Jeff Hardy do that the first handful of times, and I just loved it. So I'm going to go with the Swanton Bomb. I know that might not be a popular answer in 2020, but when I saw that for the first time in 1999 or whatever it was, I was like, that's amazing. And Jeff Hardy's one of my favorites. So that is what I'm going to go with there. Gorilla Strong. Would you rather know all the secrets of space or the ocean? Wow, that's a deep question. As deep as the ocean, as deep as space. I'm going to go with space for sure. I mean, we already know I know we are just scratching the surface on the ocean, but we know so very little about space. I mean, we know 1% of 1% of space. And I'm also fascinated by space, and I would like to go there one day. So space is the answer. I want to know all the secrets of space. P. Vince, excited to see you at the Talkin' Shop-A-Mania 2 pay-per-view tonight. Yeah, 10 o'clock tonight on fight.tv and anywhere you get pay-per-views. Will you join the Good Brothers Boozing with the Boys Zoom session soon? Oh, yeah, I should. Yeah, tonight. I mean, I wasn't invited, but I'll be boozing while I watch Talkin' Shop-A-Mania 2. What's everybody's drink? What is the go-to drink for everybody? Because the last time I hung out with the Talkin' Shop-A-Mania boys, I drank maybe a little bit too much Tito's. Yeah, it's if you want to check it out, it's the episode that I was a guest on their podcast. Yeah, definitely drank. Was feeling it the next morning. Yep, definitely feeling it the next morning. Yep. So yeah, Talking Shop-A-Mania 2 is going to be fantastic tonight. I play a very small role, but significant role, and I think you guys you'll definitely get a good laugh. It's terrible. And that's the whole thing. Talking Shop-A-Mania is supposed to be bad. This one's even worse than the first one. Joseph Perry, thank you so much for that. Yep, that's, man. Mystic Ranger, will you expand to include MMA interviews and contents? I mean, I've definitely been doing that a lot recently. I've had Stipe Miocic on. I had Vitor Belfort on. I had Ariel Helwani on. If you listen to my podcast, I had Luke Rockhold on. So yeah, I am interested in talking to interesting people. It doesn't matter if they're a wrestler. It doesn't matter if they even like wrestling. My whole thing is I want to have insightful conversations with insightful people. So yeah, MMA for sure. There'll be many more of those. In fact, next week on my podcast, I'm talking to Donovan McNabb, NFL legend, played 13 seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you're an NFL fan or you're an Eagles fan, you're going to want to tune into that on the Chris Van Vliet show. So yeah, lots of insightful interviews with insightful people. Jose Perez says, hey, Chris, I had no idea you were awarded Best Newscaster Hair in Florida back in 2015. What's the name of the products that you use on it? Well, yes, thank you. This is true. A website determines who has the best hair in news for every single state. And somehow in 2015, I was awarded the Hairy Award. I use like a paste. No, it's a wax. It's like a wax paste. It's from a company called Slick Hair. Actually, they have a YouTube channel, Slick Hair TV, and their stuff is amazing. So I can't say enough about them and how great that. I know this wasn't supposed to be like a hair tutorial, but that's what I use. And then a little bit of hairspray after that. That's it. Joseph, if you were booked in a tag team match, who would be your partner and what team would you like to go up against? So we're talking all time here. I can be teamed with anyone, going up against anyone. It's going to be me and The Rock, obviously. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. If you smell what I'm cooking. So it's going to be in one corner, Chris Van Vliet with Dwayne Johnson. And in the other corner, who are our opponents going to be? I'm going to go with the Dudley Boys. Not because I think that'd be a great match, just because I think the Dudley Boys are the greatest tag team of all time. So I'm going to go with my favorite wrestler of all time, The Rock. And then we're going to go with the Dudley Boys. I wouldn't want to watch that match, but I'd want to be in that match. JC. Hey there, CVV. Love what you do and enjoy your interviews. I do want to ask, what are any tips on wanting to be your own boss, and where do you start? It's a great question, and we could probably talk about this for a long time, but I'd say you're probably working a normal job right now. You're probably working your 9-to-5 job right now. You start with the time between 6 to midnight, and you start by chasing your passions, whatever those things are. So for me, doing interviews, wrestling, was able to combine that into one thing, and then bass fishing. And, I've talked about this a bunch, but I have my own bass fishing company. It just so happens we have a little bit of, there's one of our decals. Woo! Tungsten is the name of our company. So find the things that you're passionate about and make those things pay you. That is the goal, I think. And I think this is possible for everybody to do. Jamal W. Greetings from Oakland, California. Well, hello to a fellow Californian. Love your content, Chris. How do you feel about the Hurt Business? I think the Hurt Business is the best faction in wrestling right now. And it's amazing that MVP came out of relative obscurity. I love MVP, but he was working indie matches just a few months ago. WWE called him up, worked one show, and then it ended up turning into this thing that he has now. And it's also given a chance for Cedric Alexander and for Bobby Lashley to really show what they're all about. So I'm excited. I'm even more excited to see how the Hurt Business gets responded to when there's an actual crowd in attendance. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things that's missing from wrestling right now is, unfortunately, we don't have a crowd to give us that like instant reaction there. Soon. I hope it's soon. Angry Orchard. Such a good drink. I'm with you on that. As I scroll through all these comments here. Is this Baki? Yeah, Baki 90. Jeez, Baki 4090. Chris, I have to say I recently, not too long ago, found your content, and it's all amazing. Who is your dream interview? Well, thanks for finding the channel. Thank you for subscribing. And if anyone's watching right now and hasn't subscribed, please click subscribe. You can become a member and join below. My dream interview is Vince McMahon. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to keep putting that out into the world and hoping that it is. So Vince McMahon is the dream interview. I would imagine sitting down with Vince McMahon for an hour, like not Vince McMahon, the wrestling promoter, Vince McMahon, just the businessman, and talking to Vince for an hour about like what makes him tick. What's Vince McMahon's morning routine look like? I would love to hear that. So Vince McMahon is the number one interview that I want to do. Yeah. Brian Bowling, what do you think of Cena's wife? Interview her, man. Well, I don't think interviewing her is going to be possible, but hey, if they're happy, that's all that matters. I'm happy if they're happy, and I'm happy if anybody's happy. But John seems to be really happy in that situation, so good for both of them. Favorite wrestler as a kid, Ultra Gaming? The Rock, which is why he'd be my tag team partner. Greg Vogel, a massive thank you to you for becoming a YouTube member. And again, you can click the link below to join. You'll have early access to videos. You know how people always post first on like every YouTube video ever? You can actually be first if you're a member, because you'll be seeing it like 24 hours before everybody else. You'll also have access to exclusive content. So thank you, Greg. Appreciate you. Oh, what's this? Another new member? Oh, man. Wow. Jamal W. Thank you. Appreciate you. Greg says he joined for the content, stayed for the awesome beard Chris is rocking. I don't know if this is really a beard right now. Not really. I mean, it's like a 4-day beard. This is like a 5 o'clock shadow. It's almost 5 o'clock here. This is a 5 o'clock shadow of 4 days. 4 days of me growing this thing. Daniel Travis, you ask, what WWE legend that you have not interviewed? What WWE legend have you not interviewed? If you would like to interview, I think it would be cool to see you interview The Undertaker. Look, I completely agree. The Undertaker is definitely near the top of that list of people that I want to interview. Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? I said Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Stone Cold's at the top of that list. And I hope that when that Stone Cold Steve Austin docuseries that Lillian Garcia was telling me about, you know, that one that made news everywhere, I hope that when that comes out, we're able to do an interview together. So, man, fingers crossed. So we'll see. All right, man, there's so many questions here. So thank you guys thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks to Jean-Louise for becoming a new YouTube member. My goodness, hold on a second. Wow, you guys saw this last time, but thank you. Remember last time someone was like, can you play a song? And I was like, okay. And then it was a song about how much MJF is terrible and nobody likes him. It's true. MJF's the worst. The absolute worst. Ugh, terrible. Maddie, thank you again. Hope that things are going well there in Scotland. Where were you when Edge returned? How was the pop? I was not there. I wish I could say I was there, but I was not there. I was watching this with a few fellow wrestling friends, and it was like one of those, like, it was like a triple take. I was like, what could it be? It is. Although I have a little story time here. You guys want to hear a little story time about Edge's return? So you might have seen the interview I did with Kurt Angle. That was like one of the first interviews I dropped this year. It was in January. We did the interview in December, right before Christmas. I actually drove to Pittsburgh. It was like a 6-hour drive. I got a hotel room for the night, even though we only used it for an hour, just so I could have a place to do this interview. Kurt said, find somewhere near the airport and we'll do it. So I got a hotel room near the Pittsburgh airport and we did this. So I was talking to Kurt. The interview was done, was saying goodbye to him. And I was saying how I was in talks with a mutual friend to make an interview with Edge happen. And then it just kind of fell off. And Kurt goes, oh yeah, well, yeah, he's coming back. And I'm like, is he really? He goes, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And I'm like, no, I think that everybody kind of assumed that it might happen at some point in time. So I kind of knew without really knowing. I kind of knew that Edge was coming back. I didn't know if it was, I didn't know where it was going to be. I didn't know when it was going to be. But yeah, I kind of knew. So thank you, Kurt Angle, for that. Oh, this is an interesting one, Sherry. Who would win in a fist fight? Chris Van Vliet or Sam Roberts? So I just interviewed Sam Roberts like an hour ago. It's going to be an interview you'll see in like 2 weeks. Have you seen Sam Roberts? Have you, I mean, seriously, I love the guy. Incredible broadcaster, great interviewer. But I don't know. Sam Roberts in a fight. I mean, come on. Jeez. No. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Baki4090. Thank you so much for being with us on this one. Did you hear about the Zelena Vega? And what is your thoughts on the situation? Yeah, I mean, this just happened. This is like such a fluid situation that happened, about an hour ago. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out over the weekend. But again, I said this before, but if you're just joining us now, I spoke with Andrew Yang about this at great length. And I think that if you're going to be an independent contractor, keyword there being independent, you should be treated as such. And if you're expected to be an employee, then you should also be treated as such. And employees have benefits, and employees get maternity leave, and employees get time off. And I'm very interested to see what ends up happening in this situation. So it's very new right now, and we'll see. Oh man, we're going to play Would You Rather here with Shane Stevens from Canada. Where in Canada are you, Shane? Would you rather fart when walk, burp when talk? Oh man. Okay, so what kind of farts are we talking here? Are we talking like a smelly fart, a loud fart, a combination of both? Is this a smelly loud fart? Since I talk for a living, I don't think burping when I talk would be good. And since I'm doing a lot of these interviews now via Zoom, I always say via, it's via. Since I do a lot of these virtually now, I think farting when I walk would be fine, because I could just fart all the way to like I get to my seat and then I'm good. Or if I was even meeting the person, in person, I could fart my way to like the place where I'm going to be sitting and then sit down. It might smell for a little bit, but at least I wouldn't be burping when I talk. Great question. Just a great question. And you're right. 15 years of Eddie's passing. Wow. I rewatched that clip earlier this morning. I'm not crying. You're crying. It's gone way too soon. Can't believe that. 38 years old. Will we ever see you on AEW TV again? Status update. Great question. I don't know. It's a strange time right now with everything that's going on in COVID, and every wrestling company is working with, a much smaller crew right now. So I don't know. And I'd be down for doing stuff with them anytime. So yeah, let them know. No, I'd be totally down for that. James Malloy says, Warrior or Hogan? Man, hit me with the good stuff here. Hogan. I was always a Hogan guy. Hogan's one of the main reasons I started watching wrestling. So yeah, a Hogan guy. Jacob, Rainbow Warrior Wrestling. What's your favorite type of burrito? Chipotle chicken burrito. Put the hot sauce on it. Like their hot sauce is so good. What? Another new member? My God, seriously? Woo! RS741, thank you for becoming a member. And anybody watching this can become a member right now. Just click that join button down below, and you'll get early access to all of my interviews, all my videos. I just uploaded a video. It's not an interview. It's a video that's going to go up on Monday. I just uploaded it right now. It's unlisted, but I'm going to make this available to the members. So I was teasing this earlier in the week. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I was standing at the top of this mountain saying, I'm Chris Van Vliet, and what are you waiting for? That's like a 10-second little bit of this much more epic video that I'm dropping. So it's private right now, but as soon as we get off this, I'm going to make that available for members only. So you can check that out. RS741 and everybody else who's a member. So thank you. Thanks for being on with us. I enjoy your work. Great job. Well, I enjoy you. And thank you for being a member. All right. Daniel Travis, if you could interview any celebrity that you have not interviewed, who would it be? I should have an answer ready to go for these, shouldn't I? Matthew McConaughey. I find him just to be so interesting, and his mindset I love his mindset. So Matthew McConaughey is going to be the answer, followed closely by Christopher Nolan, who is the greatest director currently working right now. So there's my answer. But I've been super fortunate and incredibly grateful over my entire career to interview literally everybody, except for those people I just listed. But, like Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep and Tom Cruise and John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, George Clooney, the list goes on and on and on. So there's still a lot more people I want to interview, and I would love to interview them. Omer, not a question, but would love a Balor interview. Big fan. I'd love a Finn Balor interview as well. And I actually have an old Finn Balor interview from a WrestleMania Access back when he was in NXT. So if you go digging, you got to dig pretty deep. But if you go dig pretty deep, you'll see it in the archives. It's a short interview, but it's an interview with Finn Balor. So it kind of counts. Kind of, right? Oh my goodness. My good friend, Dan. Hey, buddy. Thank you for joining us here. Miss you, pal. Pandemic aside, how's your baseball stadium tour going? Also, can I be your intern again? I worked with Dan. Man, when did I work? Dan, we worked together 14 years ago when I was on a show called 969 on Razor TV. I was living in Vancouver. And, well, Dan, you were never my intern. You were a producer. But to answer your other question here, pandemic aside, how's your baseball stadium tour going? So my dad and I visit a different baseball stadium every single year. This is our father-son tradition. We've been to 23 different baseball stadiums. Obviously, this year we weren't able to go to one. So for Father's Day, I bought my dad a cardboard cutout that was at the Coliseum in Oakland. So my dad and I had never been to Oakland. We hadn't been to that stadium. So I bought my dad a cardboard cutout. So there was a cardboard cutout of Dirk Van Vliet sitting in the Coliseum this entire season. So we didn't technically go there together, but my dad was there for every single game. So thanks for hanging out with us, Dan. So good to see. I can't wait to see you in person when I seriously can, see you again. And Greg, thank you for reminding people here. There's a link in the description to become a member if you're on an iPhone using the app. Yeah, so I put that down there because I kept telling people last time, just click the join button. There's no join button if you're looking at this in the app, and which is where I assume a lot of people are watching this right now. Oh, we already got to that one, and thank you for that. Man, there's a lot of questions here, and thank you. Mark Agawa? Mark, we'll just call you Mark. I love tag teams, and here are some of my favorites. LOD, Steiner Brothers, The Outsiders. What's your top 5 tag teams of all time? 5 of them. Oh my goodness. And you're right, Juan. I said Dominican dollars, big mistake. I've been to the Dominican Republic twice, actually. And you're right, it's Dominican peso. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Top 5 tag teams. Okay. Road Warriors, Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys. There's 3. Oh my goodness. Let's do 2 more. All time? All time. Man. All time? All time. Okay. Bushwhackers. Yeah. Oh man, the Bushwhackers. I remember walking around my grandparents' house doing this. So the Bushwhackers, there's 4. Who is the 5th one going to be? Edge and Christian. Those are 5 great ones. Can't go wrong with those. Anmar says, have you ever cut yourself on that sharp jawline of yours? Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, sir. It's very, Very kind of you. It's very kind. Andy, I have interviewed Zack Snyder. I interviewed him for Batman versus Superman. Yes. He's great. It was a true honor to sit down with him and have that conversation with him. Dwayne, if you could ask one question to Vince McMahon, what would it be? I've been asked this a few times, and I don't want to just look. The first thing, the most important thing here is I would never ask just one question. And if they said you can have one question with Vince McMahon, I'd be like, I'd love to do an interview with him, but asking one question is not an interview. But if I could ask just one question, I mean, I don't have it, but if I could ask one question, I'd just be like, Katie Vick? Really? No, for real, I'd probably ask about like just what makes him tick. I want to know what makes Vince McMahon tick. I've interviewed James Franco twice, Mike. I'd love to have him on again, though. He's fantastic. There's actually some clips of my interviews with James Franco here on the channel, so you can search for them and see some, older interviews that we did together. He's a fantastic actor. Please try to schedule a long Balor interview. I'll try. I will try. It's not always easy to book interviews, but I will do my best, and I will try. I'd love to talk to him. Look, I want to talk to anybody who's interesting. Alex Chu. Hey, man. Alex Chu was my roommate in college, and the fact that he's watching this live right now is amazing to me. So thanks, buddy. Who's the biggest jabroni in wrestling? You're the biggest jabroni in wrestling. Now, the biggest jabroni in wrestling right now is probably MJF. Oh, guy's awful. Just cannot stand MJF. Anyone who's a fan of MJF, it's like, you just got to shake your head and be like, Daniel says, what's your favorite superhero? And if you could be in a superhero movie, what would it be? Batman is my favorite superhero. And Batman is my guy because Batman is like a real human. Like Superman's awesome. Superman's an alien. Batman's just a dude. Like he's a rich dude. He's a billionaire. I love that line where Ben Affleck's like, I'm rich. And we're like, what's your superpower? I'm rich. I love that Batman's just like a normal guy that has a lot of toys and he's out for justice. I interviewed Brandon Cutler last year. Fantastic conversation. You should go check it out on my channel. I feel like there's a lot of interviews that I've done that people don't realize that I've done. I feel like I need to put out like a list, an all-inclusive list of here's all 400, 500 wrestling interviews that I've done. And you guys would be like, no way. You did an interview with that person? Ultra Gaming, thank you for asking what my favorite movie is. Of all time, Back to the Future, greatest movie of all time. Back to the Future is the greatest movie of all time. It is as simple as that. Benoit Ross, thank you for this. Thank you for watching in Canada. James Malloy says, who's the one person that you wanted to see win a Rumble that never did? Oh my gosh. Well, now I got to think of people who haven't won the Rumble. Oh my, can you guys help me out in like the comments? Can you like list off some people who should have won the Rumble so I can, it's like phone a friend here. Okay. This is phone a friend. Okay. I'll be watching these comments as they come in here. And in the meantime, Microscopic Jellyfish, you're absolutely right. Back to the Future is definitely the best. So who should have won a Rumble? Yeah, please keep these coming in. These are all Kane, great answer. Cesaro, great answer. AJ Styles has been with the company for only a few years, so I'm sure he'll win eventually. Mr. Perfect, great answer. Good question, Carissa. Interviewing anyone from Ring of Honor. Who do you want me to interview? Who should I interview from Ring of Honor? I really want to do an interview with Jay Lethal. So let's make that thing happen. Kurt Angle probably should have won the Rumble. Jericho. Yep. There's a good list here. Jericho, Kane, Bryan, Punk, Savage. That's pretty inclusive. I'm with you on that. So there's the answer. There is our answer. All the people who should have won the Royal Rumble. Jose Perez. Do you support any professional soccer teams? If so, who? I'm sorry. Soccer's just not really as big of a thing here. So now, football is probably the number one sport I watch the most of, followed by baseball, followed by, my fellow Canadians are going to be so mad. I barely watch any hockey now. And I grew up playing hockey. In Canada, everybody plays hockey. And then basketball, and then, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't. But Toronto has a team. So I support them. I'm mostly Toronto teams except for the Cleveland Browns. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. Josh, thoughts on Zelena Vega's release? Do you think there should be a union for pro wrestling? Well, we talked about this earlier, and like this just happened. We don't know the details of this. I'd love to find out what all the details are with the situation. But yeah, I think that wrestling should have a union. I don't know how this would work, but I think that if you're going to be treated like an employee, then you should be treated like an employee. So I'm very interested to see what shakes out here. And I'm interested to see if anything changes next year with Biden and Andrew Yang. I'm very curious. So I guess we'll see what happens. Man, there are a lot of questions. This is a good point, Alex. There was the union. It was a faction back in the day. Remember, it was the union versus the corporation. Yeah, I remember that. They had a terrible theme song. Does anyone remember the union theme song? Not good. Might be like top 5 worst theme songs. Right to Censor is obviously the number 1 worst theme song of all time. That's got to be it. Yeah. Story time here with Shane Stevens. True story. Once lost a toenail taking a pile driver from Teddy Hart on a bar show in Halifax. Did your toenail grow back? I hope it grew back. Thanks for everything, Chris. Well, thank you, Shane. That's a hell of a story. My God. Lost a toenail. Jeez. Acai Moonsault. Why do the Lucha Bros have 50-50 booking in AEW? I mean, why not? Are you saying they should win all their matches? Are you saying it should be 80-20 booking? I mean, the Lucha Bros, I think, will have another epic match with Matt and Nick, and I think that they'll become the AEW Tag Team Champions. I'm not saying it's happening soon, but I think that that's probably where we're headed here. I think that the Lucha Bros will be AEW Tag Team Champions at some point. But the Young Bucks being the Tag Team Champions right now, that's just good for business, I think. Those guys are the best. And I know I didn't put them in the top 5 tag teams. I really should have. But they're still wrestling. You know, all the other tag teams that I named off in my top 5 are not currently wrestling anymore. So, yeah. So I think that, yeah, I'm okay with the top 5 that I gave. It's always so tough to list off just 5 of something. Like when someone says, "What's your Mount Rushmore?" I'm like, can I put 30 people on it? Okay, here's our Ring of Honor top 3 potential interviews besides Jay Lethal. Okay, Jonathan Gresham, I agree, that'd be a good one. Briscoes for sure. Dalton Castle, I've interviewed before, but I'd love to have him back on the show. So, okay, all right. There's 4 solid interviews right there. There we go. And you're right. Yeah, Union was so bad. Right to Censor is the absolute worst. Just Driving says, "You're the man." Well, how could I be the man if you're the man? What's that YouTube plaque behind you, bro? You get this when you get 100,000 subscribers. This is the silver play button. So there's one at 100,000. There's one at 1 million. That's the gold button. And then at 10 million subscribers, there's the diamond play button. I'd love to get that. Oh, you sent the message with no message. Okay. What's a day in CVV's life? Different every day. Like really different every day, but it starts with a bunch of different things. But I think the first 30 minutes of your day is super, super important. So I start every day with 3 things that I'm grateful for. I say it out loud. I say the 3 things that I'm grateful for out loud. And it really sets the tone for the day. And then it's straight to the gym. I work out. I do fasted cardio and a fasted workout, come home, I eat, and then boom, let's get to work. And a lot of the focus now has been on the podcast. I love growing the YouTube channel, but my podcast has been a big focus. I'm actually putting more content on my podcast than I'm putting on my YouTube channel, at least in the last few weeks. Got an interview with Donovan McNabb, the Philadelphia Eagles legend, coming up on Monday. If you were a Modern Family fan, I'm interviewing Nolan Gould, the kid from Modern Family. That's coming up on the podcast. So it's just a lot, and I'm obviously doing a lot of work with my fishing company. Woo, Tungsten. If you like bass fishing, we should all go bass fishing sometime. Well, this is very nice, Craig. Anyone notice the more Chris talks, the more you end up liking him? Every time I look, we've been talking for 46 minutes now. I just keep thinking, oh, you guys are going to hate me more and more the more I talk here. JH, I appreciate you. Thank you for teaching me that vague goals give vague results, Chris. I wanted to take this opportunity to send you something, even if it's not much. Man, I really appreciate you. And that phrase has completely changed my life. And I have been implementing that in my everyday for the last 3 years, because it's easy to say, I want to grow my channel. But if you set a specific goal, like I would like to reach X amount of subscribers, now you've got something to strive after. Now you've got something that what you're aiming for. And I think that's an important thing. You got to know what you're aiming for. You got to have a specific goal that you're headed towards. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you. CM Sachs, have you ever been in Germany? I have, not for long though. I've been in Frankfurt. My father worked for Lufthansa. He's now retired. My father worked for the German airline, Lufthansa. So we would connect in Frankfurt quite a bit because that was like the hub for Lufthansa. So I've been there. I do not speak any German, but my dad does. My dad speaks English, obviously, French. My dad was born in Quebec, and also he speaks German because he worked for Lufthansa. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes left, and then we will watch SmackDown, or you'll watch SmackDown, or you'll do whatever. Alex, how come you don't interview Japanese wrestlers? I've tried. A lot of them don't speak great English, but I'll interview anybody. And if you're asking, how come you don't interview like New Japan wrestlers? I have interviewed a few of them. Most recently, I interviewed Will Ospreay, who is one of my favorite wrestlers right now. And I'd love to do more interviews. Look, I want to talk to everybody. I want to do great conversations with great people. That is it. We should make that a t-shirt. Great conversations with great people. No one would wear that t-shirt but me. But yeah. I would love to see you interview Zack Snyder. If you could push anyone in WWE or AEW to a world title, who would it be? I'm guessing that's what you meant. You said world total, but I'm guessing you mean world title. John Morrison in WWE. John Morrison is so talented, so incredibly underrated, and it would be a crime if John Morrison is not the champion at some time before his career is done. He's 40 years old. Still looks great, but he needs to be a wrestler. He needs to be a wrestler. He needs to be the world champion. AEW, I'm going to go with Lance Archer. Lance Archer will be the world champ at some point. I'm just curious to see when that point will be. Thank you to everyone who has donated with these super chats. Like Kyle Andrew Cox, who says, thank you for your interviews. Your interviews help me through depression. I'm a stan of you. I wish you all the best. Thank you. I've read many comments about people saying, you helped me through a bad time, which is mind-blowing to me because I kind of selfishly do these interviews just because I want to hear the stories and I want to get the insight and I want to help make myself a better person. And then when people are like, no, those interviews really helped me through a tough time, it's like, this is unbelievable. So thank you for sharing that, Kyle. I appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has ever watched any of my interviews. You're awesome. And I appreciate you. Paul says you should Twitch live watching SmackDown or Raw. I actually don't have a Twitch. I'm sorry, but I've been thinking about it, either Twitch or maybe on here, watching a pay-per-view with you guys. If you're down for that, let me know. Maybe we should do it for Talkin' Shop-A-Mania. No, we can't do it for Talkin' Shop-A-Mania 2 tonight. They're doing their own thing. Yeah. Jimmy, thank you for checking out the Murder Hawk interview. Jimmy Briggs. I really enjoyed that. And I've been talking with him for months to try to make that work. So I'm glad that we were finally able to make that interview happen. All right, we got 10 minutes. My goodness. This has been fun. It's been so fun. I feel like I should just play some more songs here. Oh, this is good. Mr. Impact Blog. A fishing show with you and Eric Young would be money. I kind of talked to him a little bit about that. I don't disagree that a fishing show with me and Eric Young would be good. Justin. Wow. That is a tough to pronounce last name, Justin. I'm not even going to try because I know I have a tough to pronounce last name. So I don't want to try to butcher yours. Hey, Chris, great channel. Nicest guy in showbiz. LOL. I'm still trying to find my purpose. Hopefully soon. There's no rush, man. There is no rush. You have many, many years ahead of you. I was very fortunate to know that I was passionate about broadcasting at 4 years old. Super passionate to be able to take communication studies classes in high school, which then turned into me taking communication studies in college. But you don't need to figure it out now. But I will say, lean into the things that interest you, and you know that's what your passion is. I feel like I'm cutting off one of these Emmys here. Oh, there we go. Jeez, what terrible framing that was. Sorry about that. Sorry, fourth Emmy. Jeez. Could have been real bad there. My goodness. All right. Since we got 8 minutes, we'll go through as many as we possibly can here. Yeah, you're so right. Oh my goodness. It's Necro G. Did you guys see my Fiverr video with the Macho Man impressions? Necro G had one of the best, Macho Man impressions to get. So thanks for being with us on this. I hope that you enjoyed that video. I know I didn't exactly tell you what the video was going to be, but here we are. All right, I'm going to try to rip through as many of these as possible. Is it a Dutch last name? Yes, it is. Van Vliet. It's like 11 generations ago, I think. I think that was it. Daniel, if you could put together your own faction, who would you have in it? Oh my! I just want to add myself to Evolution. Okay. It's gonna be me, and Evolution's now gonna have 5 members, and I'm gonna be one of them. That's it. That's it right there. Because Evolution, I think, is the best faction of the current era. I know I said the Hurt Business is the best, like going right now, and I completely agree with that. But of the current era, have any wrestlers come to you for an interview? If so, who? So Lisa Marie just posted a comment on one of my Instagram posts, and she said, "Can we do an interview?" Yes, that was it. So doing an interview. She lives in California, so we're doing that in like a week or 2. Are you a gamer? What games do you play? I haven't played. Braylon, thank you for the question. I haven't played in a while. I played a lot of like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, original Nintendo growing up, but I haven't played in a while. Sorry for letting you down, but I'd say the games that I played the most were SmackDown versus Raw, of course, NHL 97, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. These are old. These are old games, and you're going to be like, huh? I don't understand that. Yeah. Ace Figuera? Yeah. What's your workout plan? Right now, I'm on a push-pull legs. I just did an interview with Alex Hammerstone, which you guys will be seeing next week. Fantastic conversation with him. He's a huge talent in MLW. So he kind of convinced me. I was one body part a day up until then. I was chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs. Now I'm push-pull legs, which I'm enjoying a lot more now. Kevin, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Biggie Ford, how did you win those Emmys? I won them for being a TV host. When I was in Cleveland. And I'm nominated currently for an Emmy Award for a story I did where I swam with an alligator, which is crazy. And again, thank you to you guys for hanging out with us. We still got 5 minutes here, but thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the super chats here, like Brent. You're awesome. I appreciate you guys for being part of, for joining and being a member of the Chris Van Vliet. We had it as the Van Vliet Fleet. You guys didn't really like that, so we changed it to the Chris Van Vliet. And thank you for being a member. You're going to get early access to videos and also exclusive content. Got a bunch of members here, like Greg. See that little thingy there next to his name? Any Emmy there is to win, Chris should get. Well, I don't know about that. I feel like I'm very grateful to have the ones that I have right now. Definitely very grateful. What time do you think 2021 will start? Is this a trick question? I think it's going to start at midnight, right? I think so. I hope so. I wish WWE or AEW would bring Eli Drake in. I feel like he's so underrated. So good on the mic. I was actually at his house for a Halloween party with him and Melissa Santos and Brian Cage and John Morrison and Taya. He's so talented on the mic, so underrated. Huge fan of him. God bless. iChurch Pastor Blaster. Wow, what a Pastor Blaster. God bless. Thoughts on Brandy and Jade? Look, I think that they did great stuff. She's an incredible hire for AEW, and I look forward to seeing what she can do. Your guess on which will be the next WrestleMania main event? I mean, it's like 5 months away. I don't know. Great question, though. Do you think we'll see The Rock versus Roman Reigns? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. But Lewis says, who should take the title off of Moxley? Very good question. It's going to be Kenny Omega. I don't know that for a fact, but I would have to think it's going to be Kenny Omega. All right. 2 minutes left. Let's do as many of these as we possibly can. Here we go. Faisal, would you ever do vlogs? Please make vlogs. You would do great. I have a vlog, my very first vlog, a Chris Van vlog, coming out in 2 weeks. It's a vlog of me bungee jumping. And I think so many people run away from the things that they're scared of. I run to the things that I'm scared of. And I can't wait for you guys to see that. John, did those chops you took hurt? Yep. They hurt a lot. And it took 6 days for my chest to heal up. Almost 7. William, do you like the pocket Orange Cassidy is cool? Yeah, love him. He's awesome. I don't know how anyone could dislike him. He's just he's something new and fresh. King Elijah, do you aspire to get back in the ring? I'll leave that to the professionals. I don't think that's going to be for me. Favorite music band or artist? It's going to be a deep cut here. And you guys are going to be like, who? I'm a big fan of rock, also a big fan of pop punk. Look, I listen to everything. Like I was listening to hip hop earlier today, listen to country at the gym. But The Dangerous Summer, a band out of Baltimore, is my favorite band of all time. There we go. Ricardo, would you like to visit Brazil one day? I would absolutely like to visit Brazil one day. CJ's Vlog Show. What was your experience in backyard wrestling? I was 16 years old and thought I knew how to wrestle, and I didn't. And I was giving people tombstones, which is terrifying to think about right now. My goodness. Juan says, not a question, just wanted to wish you a great rest of the week. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for being a member. Thank you guys for joining. As we wrap things up here, I want to mention it one more time. I'm giving away a big gold belt from Fandu Belts. This thing is, that's one of the best looking belts of all time. And I'm giving it away. So just go to chrisvanvliet.com, and you can get entered to win. All you got to enter is your name and your email address, and then you're in. Boom. That's it. Favorite country singer, Tim McGraw. Biggie Ford, can't wait for the JTG episode, man. It is coming out on Thursday. It's going to be real good. 3 Days Grace, anyone? Yeah, completely agree. Jordan D, if you were a pro wrestler, what would your finisher be? When I was a backyard wrestler, it was the Swanton Bomb. All right, one more, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Dugout Dan says, any tips on someone wanting to start interviewing celebrities and wrestlers? Here's the biggest tip. Start doing it. Start doing it. Like, start just doing interviews, because the more interviews that you do, the better you'll get at it. And we got one more super chat here to wrap things up from Albert. Thoughts on tribute to the troops returning? Should it be Mania quality? Well, I don't think it'll be Mania quality because nothing else is Mania quality. But tribute to the troops is such an important event, and it's so great to be able to pay tribute to the men and women who are, fighting overseas. And I always love the tribute to the troops shows. I know the superstars love being part of them. So I'm so excited that it's back, and I can't wait to see it. All right, guys, this is it. We're wrapping this up. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for being with me. If you haven't subscribed, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, take a second right now. So click subscribe, you can become a member. And again, let's do this another time. 2 weeks from now. Does that work for you guys? Let's do it. All right. You guys are awesome. Have a great weekend. Be great. Be grateful. We'll see you soon.